Jack and Lily had been friends since they were babies. Their parents were neighbors and they grew up playing together in the fields and woods around their homes. They were inseparable, exploring the world together, chasing butterflies, and playing in the stream that flowed through the meadow. As they grew older, their bond grew stronger. They spent every moment they could together, whether it was running through the fields or sitting under the shade of an old oak tree, telling each other stories. Jack was a tall, athletic boy with tousled brown hair and twinkling blue eyes. Lily was a petite, dark-haired girl with sparkling green eyes and a smile that could light up the world. They were both bright and curious, always asking questions, and always eager to learn. They had a special connection, a deep understanding that they couldn't quite put into words. They didn't know it then, but it was the foundation of their love story. One summer day, when they were 10 years old, they decided to explore the woods behind their houses. They packed a picnic lunch, grabbed a map, and set off on their adventure. As they walked deeper into the woods, the trees grew taller, and the sun struggled to penetrate the thick canopy. The woods grew darker and more mysterious, and they began to feel a little uneasy. But they were brave, and they kept walking, following the map and the sound of a nearby stream. They eventually came to a clearing, and there, in the middle of the clearing, was a beautiful waterfall. The waterfall was surrounded by wildflowers of every color and size, and the sound of the water cascading down the rocks was mesmerizing. They sat down on a rock and ate their lunch, marveling at the beauty of the waterfall. As they sat there, they looked at each other, and something shifted. They saw each other in a new light, and they felt their hearts skip a beat. They didn't know what it was, but they knew it was something special. They spent the rest of the day exploring the woods, holding hands and talking about everything and nothing. They knew that they had found something precious, something that they wanted to hold on to forever. As the sun began to set, they walked back home, tired but happy. They didn't talk about what had happened that day, but they knew that they had crossed a threshold. They knew that their friendship had evolved into something more, something deeper, something magical. Little did they know that their adventure in the woods was just the beginning of their love story, a story that would span a lifetime. As they entered middle school, Jack and Lily's friendship continued to grow. They were in the same classes, and they helped each other with their homework. They played sports together and joined the school's drama club. They were popular and had many friends, but they still preferred each other's company above anyone else's. In school, they continued to explore new things and push themselves out of their comfort zones. They were both good students, but they also loved to have fun. They would often sneak out of class to play pranks on their teachers or to explore the abandoned school basement. One day, when they were in 8th grade, they were assigned a group project for their English class. They were excited to work together, and they decided to write a play. They spent hours working on the script, coming up with ideas and perfecting the dialogue. As they rehearsed for their play, they realized that they were getting closer to each other. They began to touch each other more often, and they would gaze into each other's eyes for just a moment too long. They both felt it, but they didn't know what to do with it. One day, during a particularly intense rehearsal, Jack leaned in and kissed Lily on the cheek. She blushed, but she didn't pull away. Instead, she leaned in and kissed him back on the lips. That kiss was the beginning of a new chapter in their love story. They were nervous and excited, but they knew that they wanted to be together. They were too young to understand the complexities of love, but they knew that they felt something special for each other. From that day on, they were inseparable. They would hold hands in the hallways, and they would sit together at lunch. They were the envy of their classmates, and they didn't care. They were happy in their own little world, and nothing else mattered. Their love was innocent and pure, unencumbered by the complications of adulthood. They were still children, after all, but they knew that they had found something special in each other. They knew that they wanted to be together forever. Their play was a huge success, and they were praised by their teacher and classmates. They had poured their hearts and souls into it, and it showed. But more than anything, they were happy that they had found each other, and that they had taken the first step towards a lifetime of love and happiness. After graduating from high school, Jack and Lily both went to college. Jack studied business, and Lily pursued a degree in nursing. They chose different paths, but they stayed in touch, talking on the phone every day and visiting each other whenever they could. They continued to grow as individuals, but they also grew together as a couple. They supported each other through their struggles and celebrated each other's successes. They were each other's biggest cheerleaders, and their love only grew stronger with time. After graduation, Jack landed a job at a prestigious marketing firm in the city, and Lily got a job at a local hospital. They moved into a small apartment together, and they started building their life as adults. Their jobs were demanding, and they often worked long hours, but they still found time for each other. They would have dinner together every night, and they would spend their weekends exploring the city, trying new restaurants, and going to concerts and shows. As they settled into their professional lives, they began to talk about the future. They knew that they wanted to get married and start a family, but they also wanted to pursue their careers and travel the world. They talked about their dreams and goals, and they made plans for the future. They knew that they had each other's backs, and they were ready to take on the world together. One day, Jack came home from work with exciting news. He had been promoted to a management position, and he was going to be overseeing a major project for the company. He was thrilled, but he was also nervous. The project was going to be a huge undertaking, and he wasn't sure if he was ready for the responsibility. Lily listened to him, and she reassured him that he was capable of handling the job. She reminded him of all the times he had risen to the occasion, and she told him that she believed in him. With her support, Jack tackled the project head-on, and he did an excellent job. The project was a huge success, and he was praised by his bosses and colleagues. He knew that he couldn't have done it without Lily's support, and he was grateful for her every day. Their professional lives were thriving, but their love story was still the most important thing in their lives. They knew that they were each other's rock, and that they could rely on each other through thick and thin. As they looked towards the future, they were excited to see what it held for them. They knew that they would face challenges and obstacles, but they also knew that they would face them together, with love and determination as their guide. After years of dating and building a life together, Jack and Lily decided to take the next step in their relationship and get married. It was a beautiful ceremony, surrounded by their family and friends, and it was a celebration of their love and commitment to each other. They exchanged vows, promising to love and cherish each other for the rest of their lives, through sickness and health, for better or worse. They were filled with joy and hope for their future together. As newlyweds, they embarked on a new chapter of their love story. They bought a house together and began to build a home filled with love, laughter, and happiness. They talked about starting a family and the adventures they would take together. Their marriage wasn't always easy, of course. They faced challenges, both big and small, but they always faced them together. They learned to communicate better, to compromise, and to support each other through the ups and downs of life. They continued to grow as individuals, pursuing their passions and interests, but they also grew together as a couple. They made time for date nights, vacations, and spontaneous adventures, always finding ways to keep the spark alive in their relationship. Years passed, and they were blessed with 2 children, a boy and a girl. Their family was complete, and they were grateful for the love and joy that their children brought into their lives. As they watched their children grow, they realized that they had built a beautiful life together. They had faced challenges and overcome them, they had celebrated each other's successes, and they had loved each other through it all. Their marriage was a testament to their love, commitment, and devotion to each other. They knew that they were lucky to have found each other, and they were grateful for every moment they shared together. As they looked back on their love story, from their childhood days of innocence to the present, they knew that they had been blessed with a love that had stood the test of time. They had grown together, laughed together, and loved each other deeply. They knew that their love would continue to grow, even as they aged and faced new challenges. They had built a foundation of love and trust that would see them through anything life had in store for them. And so, they looked towards the future, ready to take on whatever challenges and joys awaited them, knowing that they had each other to hold on to, now and forever. As Jack and Lily grew old together, they knew that their time on Earth was limited. They had shared a lifetime of love and memories, but they also knew that their love story would eventually come to an end. One day, Jack was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and he was given just a few months to live. The news was devastating, but Jack and Lily faced it together, holding on to each other tightly and cherishing every moment they had left. They spent their days talking, reminiscing about their life together, and enjoying each other's company. They knew that they had been blessed with a lifetime of love and happiness, and they were grateful for every moment they had shared together. As Jack's health declined, Lily never left his side. She held his hand, whispered words of love and comfort, and did everything she could to make him feel at peace. And then, one day, Jack passed away, surrounded by Lily and their children. It was a heartbreaking moment, but it was also a moment filled with love and peace. Jack had passed away knowing that he was loved and cherished, and that his life had been meaningful and full. In the days and weeks that followed, Lily was devastated by Jack's passing. She missed him terribly, and she felt lost without him by her side. But she also knew that Jack would want her to continue living and finding joy in life. She knew that their love story wasn't over, even though Jack was gone. Their love would live on in the memories they shared, the children they had raised, and the legacy of their love that would continue to touch others. And then, a few years later, Lily passed away peacefully in her sleep. She had lived a long and full life, filled with love and happiness, and she had left a lasting impact on everyone who had known her. As their children mourned the loss of their parents, they were comforted by the knowledge that their parents were together once again, in a place where their love would continue to grow and thrive. Jack and Lily's love story had come full circle, from innocent childhood love to a lifetime of shared adventures and challenges, to their final moments together. And even in death, they remained together, forever united in their love.